Great. Yeah. Okay. There's the wisdom. Let's end the show. Only gonna be downhill from here.
Follow up from the previous episode. Go.
I did notice that not a lot of people care about our dashboard, and that's totally fine. Maybe it was a bit ambitious of us to start it this early along in the journey. I noted that we have to sort of carry you guys with us and convince you of the value of time tracking more. That's fair enough, but I think we're still going to work on it if and when we get time, because there are still a couple of cool things I want to do with it, and I think Daniel also wants to do a couple of cool things. So that's fine. We won't just talk about it the whole time, I guess. It's fine. We'll just talk about productivity stuff like we said we would.
Yeah, actually, now that you say that stuff, I remember some of the feedback that I did have. It was something we briefly discussed after we launched the Dash, was that a big barrier to entry for the dashboard is actually selling people on time tracking.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the time tracking extravaganza episode to date has been one of our more popular episodes.
Yeah, it did really well.
I think it is worthwhile maybe as digging into time tracking a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe it'll be good because I'm in a point now where, due to the March declaration and getting off of almost all social media and the rule limiting my browsing and me making a plugin to limit my browsing even more, I'm at this weird point where all technology feels kind of weird to use in a way. So even time tracking has become a chore again, but thankfully I've been doing it for so long, it's sort of mindless, so I don't think about it really. It's just like, what am I doing? Oh, I have to start a timer. But it's still that, oh, I have to start a timer as a thing again, which I don't like. So maybe it's a good idea for us to go into the value of time tracking again, just so I can go, oh yeah, I've got all this data I can play with.
Yeah, I mean, collecting the data is a big part of like the fun, I guess.
Yeah.
If you're that way inclined. If you just like looking at the data and pulling value out of the data.
Maybe I should go play with the reports again and get some cool insights or something. I haven't done that in forever.
Well, usually what I do when I get into a rut like you're in now is I build a little prototype, just do something fun with the data. So when I did the energy tracker last time, that was when I went through a little bit of a dip with time tracking. So, I mean, there's that.
Maybe I should do that. That's a good idea.
The data is there. Might as well have some fun with it.
Yeah, the house is done. Everything in the house is renovated and everything's good and happy and where it should be. I don't want to go back to the house renovations right now. It was a lot of work actually. I didn't think it was going to be that much thinking I had to do.
I am impressed. Like, how are you done?
Well, I don't know. It's the main things that were issues were sort of personality traits, I want to say, that I picked up that I didn't like.
Okay.
Or it's hard to explain in a general way, but it wasn't too big of an issue that I tackled. So it sort of just took a couple of weeks, and me not making any friends helped figure it out.
Okay. So do you have friends now?
No, I don't have any friends.
I was just checking because there's a lot riding on you not having friends, buddy.
Exactly. Yeah. This weekend I'm going with none of my friends to a nice restaurant.
Okay. No, I'm impressed. Like, because I look at my house and I was like, this is like a 20-year renovation. I mean, this is needs a lot of investment.
Well, I mean, your house is much fancier anyway, because it's not just you. You've also got a family and like all of the different hats you wear. I've got very few hats.
Yeah, no, I guess it's true. It's you do pick up a lot of new rooms on the way through your life. Like, I guess, yeah. No, but that's good, buddy. I'm happy for you.
Well,
Like,
thank
really.
you. Yeah, I'm also in a good place right now. It's nice. It's nice to be here.
One day when I'm all grown up. No, I'm in a good space now. Even though everything's falling apart, I'm in a good space, and I'm excited to tackle all the challenges. Yeah, it's just I tend to be indecisive. So indecisiveness in time of high stress is not a good trait to have. So I'm constantly trying to bring myself back and just be decisive and just make a decision, just stick with it. Because if you keep falling around and trying a bunch of stuff but it's going good.
Glad to hear that.
I've had some. So during all of this, I've also tried to bring some structure back into my life by going all in on this no to-do list movement that I'm on.
I've had so many comments about that and your no to-do list movement. It's been interesting.
I've had a lot of mental resistance to it, I have to admit.
Thank goodness.
It is the hardest thing that I've tried to implement ever in my system. I'm trying very hard. I'm trying very hard to push through and actually get through using it for a full month because, it's tough. Not checking off a task and having it go through a completed pipeline and it's not checked and it's not done, but it's going through as completed. That's or bundled in with a bunch of other stuff that's completed because the result was, the result's there. and I have to admit, like, yes, the result's there. It's only 80% of the result, but I mean, so far, everything's still fine.
Nothing's burned down.
Yeah, I mean, nothing bad really happened. Yeah, it's weird. I'm still acclimatizing, I guess. I'll have more feedback in a future episode. Right now, that saying that goes, all changes hard at first, messy in the middle, and so beautiful at the end.
Okay, that's cool.
So I'm in the messy middle right now. I mean, the hard part was implementing the system and actually having something in Coda that I can use to track this stuff, obviously.
Yeah. Would you be willing to share a screenshot of the Coda just so people can get a rough idea what it looks like? You can change the actual tasks and whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Cool, I'll be interested in that as well.
Sure, I'll do that. Actually, I might be able to do like a template. I'll have a version that people can actually use and copy and make their own.
Awesome.
It doesn't have the whole RPM thing implemented yet because I'm kind of doing that as I go along.
Yeah.
So I might actually just put that link up somewhere and people can come and grab the latest one whenever, because it's something I'm going to continuously update and work on and kind of build out.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Well, that's if I stick to this system by the end of this month. We'll see. This month is try to implement RPM month.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'll have more update on that in a future episode. And it'll either be a yay or nay or I'm keeping some bits of this.
I think it will probably land somewhere between I'm keeping some bits of this and yay.
Yeah, I think right now I can really feel the biggest thing is being results focused, not focusing on the tasks, but focusing on the result and outcome that I want.
Yeah.
What is the end result? I used to be like that, and somewhere I lost it along the line because I was just focusing on check off task, check off task, check off task.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And not thinking about the bigger picture.
Oh, okay.
Where this system forces you to first think about what is the outcome, and then only do what's needed to achieve that outcome.
Okay, now it makes more sense. Explaining it like that, I don't think you're crazy anymore.
Okay.
Because the way you explained it last time, I was like, this guy has gone crazy.
Well, I'm glad I can clarify it, but then.
Good.
Yeah, and then the bit about chunking tasks and only doing the 20% for 80% of the results. That's just trying to get me over my perfectionism and my completionist mentality, I guess. So reducing anxiety, I guess, eventually. Right now it's giving me anxiety, but I think eventually it'll reduce anxiety because I'll learn to let go. I'll learn to be okay with not doing everything on the list.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes.
We'll see. I do think that attention to detail is one of my stronger traits, so I don't want to lose that.
It is a good one, yeah. Yeah, it's not something to really not want.
Yeah, so I need to just find the balance, I guess. Schedule time for attention to detail, or make sure that I make that part of my 20% time that I need to invest. It's probably not a good time to talk about all of this stuff now, just because I haven't conceptualized.
Oh, yeah, the whole picture or something.
Yeah. So I don't know how everything's affecting me right now. Right. Yeah. So I need to process and write about all of that stuff first.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll know after a review.
Yeah. I'm in a very big no writing phase again. There's so many blog posts I want to write about cool stuff I've built, but it's just I didn't think it through, because usually like I force myself to write a blog post about something that I built before I'm allowed to like publish the next thing.
Right.
But I had a couple of cool next things that I really wanted to get out there. So I didn't let my stupid rule block me from doing what I wanted to do, which is like the main point of it. And now I'm in this position where I've got like 4 blog posts that I really need to get done now.
Yeah, you built some cool stuff.
I don't know. Like there's this whole thing I want to put on my blog about products that I've built, because now like there's enough to make an actual like category for it.
Yep.
And I'm thinking of cool front end designs for it that I can prototype, and then I go, nope, you're not allowed to. You need to write some blog posts first, at least. So yeah, the rule's back, but it's not helping thus far.
Well, do you want to talk about some of the stuff you've built? Because I think it's pretty cool.
I don't want to talk about any of these until I've written the blog post.
Okay, we can talk about it after. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with Coda. It's just spinning and not loading.
I'm too scared to refresh or anything. I'm just going to leave it.
Okay, it's loading. All right, I'm back.
Literally cannot focus without a document.
Yeah, no, it's like lost.
Yeah.
Do you also get the notification?
What notification?
I just got a Coda notification. Dock size above limit. This dock will become read-only in 14 days unless you reduce its size.
That's not cool. Why? We were promised stuff which didn't involve file size limits. Do you have images in your docs?
No, dude, this is our planning doc.
Oh. Yeah, okay. It's not big. It's not big at all. I'm going to open it in a different tab and see if I get a notification.
It is definitely not a big doc.
Maybe they're starting their payment plans. That's perfect. Oh, there we go. Yep. Upgrade now. Dock size above limit. This doc can read only. View details. Upgrade now.
This, we might have to switch to Notion.
No.
Coda?
Oh, you shut up. You shut up. I'm not switching again. I told you this would happen. Where's that OneNote app I had lying around? I'm going through the pricing thing. Let's see. Have they updated it? Updated over a week ago. No, they've not updated anything.
I think they accidentally pushed the updates and it's not fully implemented, because if you click view details, nothing happens.
Yeah.
And upgrade now is a dead link. I think this is an accidental preview to what's to come. I'm a bit worried, I must say.
See our dependency on I don't like this. You're crying a corner with my OneNote.
No, it's fine. We've got enough buddies at Coda. We can figure something out.
Yeah. How's your health club been going?
It's been going well.
Nice.
I did marathon training and then didn't run a marathon.
Oh yeah, you finished the marathon training by this point, right?
Yeah. I'm back to strength training again.
Wow, that's well done. Congratulations.
Obviously, with my hip problem, I didn't actually go do the marathon. But before I started the marathon training, I could do about 3 kilometers on a good day on the treadmill before my hip started hurting. I can now do 5K easy with like no problems. I've done a 6K treadmill as well. 6 kilometers, no problems, no pain. So definitely progress, a lot of progress.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I'm actually at the point now where I can do a sub 30 5-kilometer with no pain.
Yeah, that's the important bit. No pain.
Yeah, so that's good. It's definitely progress. And now back to strength training, so I'm hurting everywhere again, but it's good. It's good.
Nice.
And you?
Yeah. No, it's been going okay actually. I've decided that I definitely need to go more. And then I started going more, and I convinced myself now to set a new habit, which is gonna possibly lead into my observation club. But it's just that I need to change the behaviors preventing me from usually going to the gym.
Okay.
Because I'm not in that habit anymore of it just being like something I don't think about. It still takes willpower, which I don't like to use on that. So, which is why I don't go most of the time. So I've sort of switched it up, and now I go in the evenings. even though I hate it and it's so busy and it's just the worst.
Yeah, gyms in the evening are the worst.
I'm just like, as soon as I get home, I'm not allowed to do anything. I put on my gym clothes, I go to the gym, and it sucks, but I'm doing it. I've been doing it for like a week and a half, and something must be working. But it's good. Yeah, I feel good again. Gymming is nice.
Yeah, gymming's cool. Yeah, no, gymming. Yeah, for me, if I'm not doing it at 5 a.m, I'm not gonna do it. Like, it's just I'll go for a run in the evening because then I take one of our dogs and I just go for a run. But yeah, at least you're getting to the gym, buddy. It's good.
Yeah, getting there slowly but surely. I have been. I don't know if I told you last time. Probably not, because I don't really want to make a thing out of it again. But I've been mostly like basically vegetarian-ish.
Yes. You went to the dark side.
Yeah. So I've been doing that, and it's been like a month at least, I think. It's going great. I feel fantastic. So I think everything's good.
Okay. I started cooking this week.
Oh, nice. I should start cooking this week.
My wife's always done the cooking in the house, but it's her birthday this week, and I said I'll cook this week.
That's cool.
Like, don't worry about food.
Yeah.
I'll handle food. And I downloaded this app called
Uber Eats.
If only they delivered where I live.
Oh, man.
But no. It's called Meal Lime. It's a terrible name.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah.
But we both know developers aren't good with naming things, so fair enough.
That's true. It was trending on the App Store. I was like, you look good enough, and I downloaded it. And it's pretty cool. It's got some free recipes, and then you set up a meal plan for the week, and then it's got a grocery list with all of the ingredients that you need for all of those recipes.
Ah, that's cool, yeah. I've been looking for something like that, actually, because I always forget to buy stuff.
Yeah, so then I went to the store, literally just bought everything that's on the list, worked out way cheaper than what we always spend on food because it's exactly what's needed for 2 people.
Yeah.
And our daughter's 3 years old, so for her, we just give like a little bit of whatever we're having because she doesn't eat that much. Yeah, so I mean, I've made stuff like pan-fried steak with sweet potato mash and green beans, cilantro lime chicken thighs with avocado tomato salsa. Tonight I made steak, asparagus, and bell pepper stir fry. Really good stuff, dude. And it's so easy. Like each recipe is 30 to 35 minutes to make.
Oh, that's too much.
Really? No ways, man.
I'm too lazy to make food. I think that's like my main fault in life. Is I'm too lazy.
So I've always liked making food, but it's just one of those things where I never wanted to put in the effort because I was lazy. And I figured, like, while I'm in this journey of exploring all of the rooms in my house and cleaning up, it was one of those things that I kind of looked at against, like, why I do enjoy making food. Why don't I do it more often? So I decided to take that on, even though I don't really have the time. I'm making time for that.
That's good.
And it forces me to be on time. And it's also in preparation of, this is something I didn't mention earlier, but I gave up my office that I'm renting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to let the office go, which means I'm back to home office, which means 5, I need to stop working. So if I'm making food, that forces me to get away out of the home office and actually go do that.
Yeah.
And make food, spend time with family. So it's a hard cutoff for me. So that's a way for me to try and make the home office thing work again.
Yeah. It also separates them mentally.
It didn't work the last time, but also I had a newly born baby in the house. Yeah, she's 3 now, and it makes sense to just give it a go again.
Yeah.
And this is something I put in place that acts as a constraint for me to, force me to stop working at a specific time.
Yeah, I like having things that force me to stop working.
Yeah, so it's fun. I'll see how it goes. I'm really enjoying the cooking. That's also a little bit of a health club update.
Cool. Sounds good. What other clubs do we have? The Observation Club is always looming.
That's true. I don't have an observation.
Observation Club is a difficult club because it's something you really have to be mindful for. Otherwise, you forget about stuff. And I've forgotten about cool things that I wanted to speak about so many times. But anyway, I do have one for today. I had to think about it for quite a while, but I didn't remember what I thought when I first realized it. I'm currently reading The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg? I don't know how to
No
pronounce
one
it.
knows. I don't think he knows.
Yeah. And it reminded me of a book I read previously called Triggers, Creating Behavior That Lasts by Marshall Goldsmith. This book never gets any love because it's in the shadow of The Power of Habit, which everyone seems to have read and loved. But I highly recommend Triggers, by the way. And it sort of ties into what I said about the health club and like stopping or changing routines, which is what you said last time as well, is that you have to replace them.
Yeah.
Like you can't stop a habit, you have to replace a habit with a new habit. And the cool thing about Triggers, and also mostly in The Power of Habit, is it helps you identify cues or triggers that set off certain habits or routines, as they call it in The Power of Habit. But I've been paying a lot of attention to either things that get me going or things that stop me from doing stuff, and just being mindful again of how I can try and change those to influence my behavior in whichever way I want it to go. The gym one is really difficult. I don't know why. I used to be able to like have it in a routine for like at least a year, and now it's like really difficult again. I'm trying to figure out what other way I can approach it and influence that behavior. But it has also like this observation that I've been doing for like the past 2 weeks or so. It has also like really helped me settle the House of Jacob renovations issues, because some of the things I realized were triggered by very easy to catch things. Like as soon as I catch myself doing that now, I just immediately like stop that behavior, and that stops the whole chain of events that I didn't like happening. So that's maybe something for you to look into as well.
I have started reading Triggers a long time ago, and then something else caught my interest, and I went over to.
It's exactly that category. It's like it could be a 50-pager.
Yeah.
So it's not worth like really getting into it, but the main ideas are really good, I think.
Yeah. No, it's one of those. It's on my Kindle app, and I do intend to go back to it and read it at some point, or finish it at some point. And I know that I did make quite a few notes as well as I was reading through it. The first, little bit that I read. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to get back into that at some point. I tend to read a lot of books at the same time. I have a hard time finishing books.
Yeah, I've got the exact same problem.
But also, like, recently listening to Naval's stuff again, like, that doesn't, like, it's a vanity metric.
Yeah, exactly.
The important thing should be what you take out of the book, not how many books you read.
Yeah.
And that's usually what happens with books, is I'll read it to a point where something clicks, and then I'll try and play with it or implement it, and then I kind of forget about the book and go on to the next thing. And then, but now talking about this again, I'll probably go and pick up Triggers again, because maybe there's some more learning that I can get from it. But yeah, now talking about books, it actually reminded me, I actually do have something for Observation Club that I can raise.
Oh, yes.
I'm reading a book called Brain Steering at the moment.
That sounds ominous.
Yeah, no, it's actually a really good book. It's about basically, the book says brainstorming is useless, but what you should be doing is brain steering.
Get out.
I know, it sounds horrible, but the thing that does make the book good is it's about asking the right questions and identifying good questions.
Wow.
And you can identify a set of questions that is useful in a lot of cases. And that got me back into the habit of actually writing for my reflections again and reviews.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I'm trying to structure that a bit differently, where I used to just write whatever my brain wants to write. And I always struggled to stick to that habit. But now after reading Brain Steering, and this isn't something that they tell you to do in the book, this is kind of something that I formulated on my own, is I've developed this weird reflection writing habit now where I ask myself questions and answer them.
Okay.
So I'll ask myself stuff. Like, for instance, I was writing this one piece where I was just reflecting, and I just wrote down, like, why don't I do this more often? And then I was like, why don't I? and then I try to answer that question. That's a hard question to answer.
Yes.
But it actually forced me to think through it. Like, why don't I sit down and write more often?
Okay, yeah.
And then I asked myself, like, okay, what am I going to change to force myself to write more often? And then actually thinking through that and thinking through the process. Okay, what can I do to make this habit stick?
Yeah.
So it's this Q&A with myself.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually been very useful.
I think it sort of forces you to follow the train of thought instead of just going, oh, I should do this more. Yes, I should do this more. And then you leave it, you forget about it. It sort of forces you to make it actionable.
Exactly. By asking yourself, like, hey,
yeah, I should do this more. How am I? It's like, oh,
how am I going to do it?
And then you have to say, okay, I see.
Yeah, so that's kind of something that I implemented on the back, which is not what the book is at all about. But
it's your new book called Asking Yourself Questions.
The right way. But the book does touch on, it explains the feeling you should get. And it clicked. It's the first time that I've thought about questions in this way, but there's a specific way you feel when you ask the right question, or if someone asks the right question. And in the book, I don't have the actual piece where they explain it. So they explain it like, it's a good question when someone asks it and your brain explodes with possibilities. Like, that feeling that I'm talking about. Now that I say that, exactly that feeling.
Yeah. It's like, I want to say 17 things at the same time.
Exactly. That's a good question. And it's those kind of questions that you should be trying to develop and formulate. And then when you get a question like that, instead of, but before you start exploring it, write down that question so you remember it for next time. And then next time when you're in a similar situation, check through your list of 100 questions that you've compiled over time and see if one of those questions maybe sparks that kind of thing again. So build up a collection of questions that you can throw at problems.
Okay.
Because most of the time, those questions end up being very generic or has a generic variation.
Yeah.
And that was really, really interesting.
That's cool. I like this.
It's a pretty cool book, I must say. It's one of those, like, I wasn't expecting it to be a good book.
With a title like that, but it's made up for it.
Exactly. And I was pleasantly surprised. That's actually, my observation club turned out to be pretty cool, actually.
Nice. Yeah, look at that. The observation club does its thing.
I never prepare observation club, but I always have something.
Yeah, well, we let you slide in the observation club because you have good somethings.
All right, I should just continue not to prepare for observation club, and then I'll have good somethings. But yeah, and so it's I recommend skim reading it. I don't know if this counts as a spoiler. Probably not. Can you spoiler? I don't think you can spoil a business book, can you?
I mean, I don't know. Usually they try to with like the title, I guess.
I don't know. But anyway, there's a list of 101 or something questions at the back of the book. So you can actually just go check if you wanted to. They just compiled this list of good questions.
Okay. It's a good starting point.
I guess go check that out.
Spoiler warning?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know either.
What are rules?